Hello subscribers, how are you all today? Well, I'm going to shoot today some scenes on the Bombay streets. The idea is to show you what's happening on our roads, what kind of movements we have, because we rarely see such information on Mumbai roads, because the news and other people, they show the other things, but we do not see the ground reality and on how people are moving, how they are, what's happening. So here I am now again. I'll be moving in my car and I'll be showing you what's happening. Okay, this is Dhirubai Kokilaben Ambani Hospital, as we call it. It's one of the best hospitals in the suburbs on the western side of Mumbai, and that's the hospital. Of course, we do not call hospitals good, and nobody wants to come here, and we can't say it's a luxurious hospital, but really it is one of the very well appointed hospitals in Mumbai, very modern, and run by Mr. Anil Ambani's wife, Tina Ambani. That's the side view. Okay, as it looks, if you can see upwards, yeah. And so we passed the hospital, and we are progressing towards a place called this is Lokanwala Road, and we are going towards this road. And for the information of everybody, in this state the corona cases have reduced to something like 16,000 in testing, and the deaths are less than 1,000. So the state government has opened up Mumbai and some of the other towns, and the restaurants are open till 4 p.m. so that normalcy can come back again. Some curbs remain on the trains, but by and large the people are out on the roads, and the provision of the mask remains. Of course, we cannot be without the mask, but gradually the city is limping back to be in a working state. Hello. Yeah, okay. This is the Lokanwala circle, as you can see, a tiny circle, and on the front side we have the Swami temple. There it is, Swami temple, a very modern looking temple, but and we've taken a full circle, and we are on our way back here, and we'll be further seeing what's happened. The one thing about the Swami temple is that they don't allow dressing which is Western, only Indian. It's ridiculous. As it is, people do not wish to worship. On top of it, these priests who are fraudulent, they identify your faith by what you put on. Now, it's not fair. This is a modern world. If the girls or little girls or boys, they've come in jeans or shorts, it's fine. They can't come in dhoti or salwar suit. This is why I don't think they are much following, and this is why Hindus in particular are losing interest in religion, maybe. What you see on the right side or above here, if you see, is a metro, and on the left ahead you see the blue color building which is called City Mall. Now City Mall has shut down. Like many malls that were made in Mumbai have not been successful, and I wouldn't be surprised if there is some kind of government litigation, some kind of extortion, or some kind of government harassment, because that's quite big norm in India, that people get harassed a lot. But regardless, the mall has shut down, and it's not really running, except the films are running under so-called PVR cinema. And what you see here, this is a station ahead above there, and the metro, as you see, is important project going on in the city of Mumbai. It's a crisscross network starting from a very distant suburb called Dahisar, Borivali and so on, which goes up to a place called Kolaba, which is the southernmost point of Mumbai. the only thing is this whole crisscrossing of the net. One moment, I wish to tell you, this is Infinity Mall on the left. It's called Infinity One, and this is a very successful mall, and it's running very well. Don't know the reasons for it. Maybe they managed to pay the extortionists or whatever, we don't know, because that's quite common in India. But regardless, location is very nice on the curb on the left side, and it's a successful mall. It's got cinemas as well, and while it's not really a very big mall, but still quite okay. So coming back to the metro is crisscross of networks over the ground, and they're trying to cover most of Mumbai by metro, and trying that they can reduce the traffic jam and the snarls that we have on roads in Mumbai, which is due to mismanagement, and they never broadened the roads, and of course apathy by the successive governments in the last 72 years. There was no planning for the city. It went to the docks, and only in the last 7 to 8 years or 10 years have we seen the construction of metro, so that they can have some kind of credible infrastructure. Now these metro lines are going to interconnect and so-called decongest apparently, or maybe speed up the transit time for people. Let's hope it's successful, can't say, but of course it's going to be taking very long, because Indians don't allow international bidders for such contracts due to reasons well known, and otherwise these contracts and projects can be speeded up at least 5 times if we got Koreans, or maybe, unlikely of course, the Chinese or maybe somebody else, or you know, Singaporeans. They could have done a much better job, less shoddier job. But the problem is, you know what I mean, it's a give and take situation. Since the companies abroad are not really able to do the needful, the contracts always go to the Indian companies, and this is the reason. Of course they are quite tardy, and they take very long to make things, but that's what Indians have learned. Everything as a chalta hai. It's called in English chalta hai. Well, carry on with your life the way it is. Never mind, we are continuing towards the suburb of Malad on the road, and I'm going to update you further as to what's happening. We are continuing on our journey on the so-called Andheri Malad Link Road. We are on the junction here, and on the side you see there used to be a mall called Hyper City, which was being run by the defunct Big Bazaar group run by Mr. Kishore Biyani. This is the quite a nice mall it was, with value for money, but after the cash crunch the Big Bazaar group had, it has been shut down. Now we have arrived at a place called In Orbit. It is one of the finer malls, functional and successful malls in Mumbai, and we have almost all shops here, including Inox and the cinema, Shopper Stop as you see, and all those brands. And due to the construction of the metro, on the left side we are covered, but there it is, the board of In Orbit, which you can see quite clearly. This is the front entrance to the mall, and this mall has always been my personal favorite, because it's a reasonably big mall, but not too gigantic. You can cover the mall very comfortably, and the best part is the food court is very nice. So it's always a pleasure going to this mall. And of course H&M has a very big presence here. I think they occupy almost more than a third of the space. Having the large pockets of investment, this company is doing very well in India, and they have been extremely successful. So that's the In Orbit Mall, and now we continue our journey towards Malad, to a point which is known as Mid Chowki, which is the terminal point for the so-called Mawe Road, which leads towards the beach. So here we are continuing, and our dear friendly metro continues overhead of us, non-functional at the moment. Only God knows when it will be functional, but never mind, at least we can see it for the moment. Now we have reached the biggest mall in the western suburbs. It's called the Infinity 2 Mall. There it is. It is quite a big mall really, and a functional mall, and quite successful. You'll wonder, why do I say this is a successful mall? Yeah, well, the mall success is on footfalls, meaning how many people visit the mall, and of course how many shop, because by and large the visitors are just simply loitering in the mall, maybe to use the toilet facilities, whatever. That at least in India by and large people are doing that. I don't know, maybe in the rest of the world, but this mall is successful because it's based in a kind of affluent area, which is Goregaon, Malad and so on, where there's an affluent Gujarati community living, and who got deep pockets to spend. Yes, I mean, it might sound like, why do I mention the people, but that's what makes the difference. You got the business community here nearby, and this is what gives them a good success in being able to get so many of these customers and all visiting. That's the front view of the mall. Of course, the construction always obscures the view because it can't be helped. After all, India is always under construction. As much as for, I don't know what's the next digging matter, we don't know, but Indians are digging all the time, so we leave it to that. So I've reached a place called Evershine Nagar. It's in Malad West, of course, and we have arrived at the destination which we are supposed to by the name of Sunli restaurant, and that's Sunli written there. I don't know whether it's functional or what, but let's see. That's Sunli Chinese restaurant. Yeah. So I've reached Sunli restaurant. Inside, that's how it looks. You see, a very traditional Chinese restaurant, unchanged for the last 30 years, you can say, as good as. It's been functional the way it was. Very simple, very nice the way it's been. And it's a Chinese family run restaurant, originally from Calcutta, as I said when I started. And the owner's son, Mr. Waldner, is here. There he is. Hi. Yeah. And he's married with 2 children, daughters, and as much as sons, and lucky guy. And his one brother is in Austria. He runs some Chinese business there. Yes. So this is where I am, and I'm going to order a soup or a noodle or something, because that's where we culminate our visit to the Sunli restaurant today. This is the menu card of Sunli. Okay. Then we look through. Here it is. I've opened the menu card. A very traditional menu, and the best part is it's unchanged for the last 30-35 years. That's how you see the menu. Okay. And very reasonably priced, as I'll show you. Maybe I'll be ordering a Lang Fung soup. I don't know where it's mentioned, but it's here, Lang Fung soup, and it's costing how many rupees? 160 rupees. Okay, that's steel. It's like something like $2 for the soup bowl, a big bowl of soup, $2. Yeah. And maybe I go for a chicken hakka noodle, which is
chicken hakka noodle,
or maybe the rice noodle if you have. No,
right now not available.
Don't have a? Okay, then we go for the noodle, which is for how much? 180, which is as good as $2.50. Yeah, fair enough. Order is placed, and Waldner is gonna get it, and I'll shoot again once it's received on my table. Thank you.
A few moments later.
So I've got my Chinese Lang Fung soup. Looks very nice. Quite a good filling. So I'm going to start with this now first. Now I've received the noodle dish. It's called Hong Kong noodle. I don't know what's Hong Kong about it, but regardless, that's what the dish is called. It looks too much for a serving for one person, but let me see what justice I can do to it. And this is my only and final dish now that I'm eating before I leave now. So I'll catch up with you again the moment I leave. Thank you. My visit to the Sunli restaurant is over, and now I'm heading home. It was wonderful to reminisce all the times, and the food was lovely. I enjoyed it, and I hope you got some good insight. I'll be with you again very soon with something new. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.